Hi, this is Sally Morgan, physical therapist, craniosacral therapist, and Tellington T-Touch practitioner for animals and people. This is Tristan. He's a Corgi. And today has been a bit of an interesting trial for me. I had written in my notebook to talk about the blessing of the animals today. And I was looking into that further and found that, in fact, I was thinking about a blessing of the animals that takes place in Spain on January 17th, which was a couple of days ago. And when I looked more into this, I can't even call it a celebration, tradition, I was horrified. And I was so horrified that I was like, I can't talk about this. And then I saw a little light at the end of the tunnel in what I could say. And then I thought, you know what? This is really about horses today. I had horses from when I was 10 years old until I was in my mid-50s, and I never knew about this. And I think people need to be aware of this. So north of Madrid, they have a patron saint in this city called St. Anthony. Not the same Anthony that helps me find lost things, because I love him. He can even help you find lost confidence and all of that. He's awesome. This other St. Anthony is the patron saint of domestic animals at this town in Spain. And so for over 500 years, they've been engaging in rituals to celebrate their St. Anthony. And part of that is the blessing of the animals, and they have wonderful pictures of people lined up outside of churches with every kind of animal, turtles and parrots and dogs and cats and ponies and donkeys and ferrets and every kind of animal. People love their pets. And I was also thinking, you know, do our animals really need to be blessed? Aren't they perfect the way they are? And then I thought, well, blessing can be viewed a bunch of different ways depending on what your religious background is. And so maybe the blessing is just to ensure continued health and wellness. So I was okay with that. But then I found out that one of the primary aspects of this celebration or tradition is to ride horses through fire and smoke to be purified. And I thought, okay, that can't be what I think it is. That's going to be like when you do a fire walk or something like that. Or maybe just a lot of smoke and not really fire. But then when I saw pictures online, I was horrified. They are literally riding horses through flames over the rider's head that have been in a bonfire burning all day. And I found that the original tradition was just like little sticks that donkeys carried in, and it was a small pile, and you know, it wasn't what it is today where truckloads of wood are being brought in. And of course, there is a lot of drinking and carrying on, and the pictures, don't look them up if you can't take it, of the horses running through the fire are alarming to me. And I read enough to find that a vet from Spain has actually said that the horses are not harmed. I didn't see horses with burns all over their body. Some of the riders' clothes caught fire. And, you know, one of the things they don't tell you, are the horses hosed with water before they go through the fire or something like that to help keep them safe. So there was a lot, I guess, controversy around this, and animal rights groups are horrified. And I am too. I mean, so the original intent was, apparently this started 500 years ago during the Middle Ages when there was a lot of bubonic plague taking people's lives. And so riding the horse through the flames and the smoke was supposed to purify the horse. Well, we all know now bubonic plague is carried by rats, has nothing to do with horses. And so we should know better. But, you know, a 500-year-old tradition for a culture, it is hard to change that. And they even showed a donkey with a little kid on him, a little furry donkey, and someone trying to drag him over a fire the size of a dining room table. And, you know, those donkeys are furry. You know what hair smells like when you get some on the gas stove or, you know, the campfire when you're toasting your marshmallows. Just that smell is enough to scare an animal. And I just really felt terrible about it. And I thought, oh my gosh, where in the world did people think this was okay? But, you know, people for hundreds and thousands of years have not been nice to animals. So then the connection to the bubonic plague made me think of the light at the end of the tunnel with this talk, which is one of the things that I use nearly every day in the winter and a lot in the summer is something called Thieves Essential Oil. Here it is. This one's from Young Living, but lots of different companies now make something based on Thieves. And Thieves is a collection of kind of wintry oils from things like cloves, cinnamon. There's a lot of spicy things in here. I can't even remember all of them. But ginger, it really tastes like cloves more than anything. And it's very famous because of got the name from the fact that the things that are in this essential oil are antimicrobial, antifungal, and antibiotic. And so the theory was that, and I think it has borne out to be more than a theory, and it got its name from the idea that thieves would put this collection of oils on their bandanas and put them over their noses when they went into the houses where people had died from the plague to steal their goods. And that's how it got the name Thieves, which again, I didn't learn about until 10, 15 years ago. I mean, I spent a lot of my life not knowing about this, but I used this one called Thieves Spray. It comes in a little bottle with a squirter on the top, and it's a great thing to use in the winter to help you not get sick. And with the flu going across the country the way it is right now, you can use that spray on your hands after you've been somewhere. You can use it if you have to fly. You can spray it all over where you're sitting in the plane, and it will help protect you. And if you start to get just a twinge of a sore throat, you can use it throughout the day. And I was exposed to a really sick person when I first learned about this, and I was using the Thieves Spray all day, big spray before night, and I never even got the littlest bit sick, and I was pretty impressed with how well it worked. And also, when I've been working in places where you have to wear a mask if you haven't had a flu shot, I have sprayed Thieves on the inside of my mask, and it smells pleasant, and it also helps kill germs, quote unquote. So if you do want to purify and protect, Thieves is a much better choice than riding a horse through fire. And I just really have a hard time with this whole tradition, and I wanted to bring it up because I didn't know about it, and lots of my horse listeners might not know about it either. And of course, they're beautiful Iberian horses that these riders have that have been used in bullfighting, and they're much appreciated for their quote-unquote courage. But, you know, it's not my cup of tea to treat a horse this way. And nor do I feel that animals need to be blessed to be purified. My gosh, look at this little face. How can this dog be not perfect the way he is? What is people saying? Oh, a few people are watching. So I wanted to let people know about this St. Anthony Blessing of the Animals that happens every year on January 17th in a town north of Madrid in Spain. And just to make you aware of it. And I'm sorry I don't have anything more peppy to say to not be sad about it, other than, you know, from the plague, we also have Thieves Spray, which is tremendously useful around your house. They make huge bottles. You can get the oil and dilute it with things and use it to wipe off your counters and clean the bathroom. And it smells great. And I use it a lot. Lots of people do. It's way better than lots of the chemicals we have. You can put it in your laundry. Young Living even makes throat lozenges. They make a mouthwash, which I have some gum problems, so I've been using that. I'm not very good at using it every day or even 3 times a week, but I'm hoping that will improve my gum health. And also, it tastes pretty good. You know, it's a little bit spicy. It's very clovey, but it's good stuff. And I think that, you know, that might be the light at the end of the tunnel in this little chat about riding horses through fire. I mean, it's one thing to have, and I've seen them do this in demonstrations, like a little strip of fire burning and a jump pole over it, and the horse jumps over the fire. That's different than riding a horse through a blazing bonfire. I mean, I just can't imagine. And of course, their hooves, when we put shoes on them, are burned by the hot shoes, which helps sit the shoe nicely on the hoof. And of course, people that do barefoot don't even like that idea, but my horse needed shoes. And he always only had front shoes, and they were very lightweight, and he never seemed the least concerned about getting his shoes on. So I know there's controversy in that area too, but the world of horses and dogs is full of controversy with all our different breeds and what we do with them and what their history has been. So I think an important thing to do today is to do some heart hugs for the horses in Spain and for all of us that are affected by just hearing about this. So to do these, remember, you imagine the face of a clock on your chest with the 6 towards your feet. You cross your hands over your heart, make a connection through your clothes to the skin, and make a circle all the way from the 6 back to the 6 and up to the 9, a circle and a quarter. And as you do this, you want to breathe in and exhale, and it just releases any tension emotionally or physically. And if you can just hold those horses in your thoughts for their safety and protection and well-being, we can bring some positivity to this experience for these animals. And of course, going to a church and standing outside with your parakeet, there's nothing wrong with that. And we will have another talk on blessings of the animals. I think I've already done one in the summer when during a pet weekend at a vacation town I go to, they had a blessing of the animals, and Tristan got blessed, didn't you? So thanks for joining us today. We will be back tomorrow. I know there's a lot going on politically today across the country, and Tristan may or may not go have a little walk downtown with crowds of people like he did last year. I was very impressed with him last year. He walked up this grate up to like the 3rd floor of this building on a balcony and stood there looking down, and he was so courageous. Even little children didn't want to walk up it, and I was pretty nervous, but my Corgi was fine. So thanks for joining us today. Bless your animals with love and compassion and respect. And if you have horses, please tell people about this, because I think we need to know about it. Then we will be back tomorrow at around 9:30. Getting pretty excited about the Pet Expo next weekend. Got a lot of packing and planning to do for that. And hope to see lots of you in Maryland next week at the Expo in Timonium. Yes, your dogs are a blessing. They don't need to be blessed. I know. But we all have different religious beliefs. Thanks for joining us. Everybody have a great day with the blessings that your animals are in your life. Celebrate them. And we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for joining us.